Welcome to HeartsChat. Tonight we are talking about PTSD because June is PTSD Awareness Month, so we're going to touch on that today.
Yes.
So, but before...
We do.
How are we doing?
How are we doing? Good. Pretty good. I just got finished, hosting the bridal shower with the bridal party for my friend, and it went over great. Actually, we had put this last minute game in called the ring hunt. So basically what you do is hide these plastic rings all around the venue, and you tell people whoever has the most at the end win a prize.
Like Easter
egg. We didn't think people were going to be all for it, but what? Let me tell you, everybody's like, oh, can I steal rings? Can I do this? Like, I'm like, I'm about to play this game every time.
Yeah, everybody got to take it there.
Good idea.
Yeah, everybody was like so competitive and wanted it so bad. So that was pretty fun. And
she has a competitive party.
Oh, what?
That's cool. Well, I think we're all like big kids.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
anything we have an excuse to like be a kid again.
You do it. That's
right,
so true. And she was extremely surprised by the little get together we had afterwards. So it was the hard work that all of us put into that, and her almost ruining it. So it was really fun. So
she was really happy.
Yeah, she was really happy. She loved it.
Makes it worth it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Nice.
All right. What about you guys?
What are you in?
Okay.
Me.
Over here.
Okay.
Well,
me.
Every time. I've been really excited about having visitors. Okay, like in my mind, I think I want somebody to visit like once a month. Like, so I have somebody, and I look forward to this month. Let's say 12 people a year, or maybe some repeats. The same people.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah. So, but I don't ever call people and be like, oh, you coming this month, that month. It just happens that way. I always have somebody here, like once a month I have a visitor. So, Bria was supposed to be here recently, but she had to study, which is fine. I told her, you got work to do, study, just stay home, get relaxed, because she's been really go.
Okay.
So, but she's coming. And she's coming again.
See, repeat.
Yeah.
You got your loyal people.
Repeat.
Yes. So she's coming, and I've had the 3 people that came, family, friends, and other people. So, and then I have another friend. She's coming in September, which will be here before we know it.
Oh,
so I'm happy about that. Yeah, and then planning, besides my visitors, planning to go on, my trips and stuff. So keeping up with that. What's going on with you?
Let's see. On a different note. Right now I'm focusing on studying for my licensure, which will be in a month. I would say, taking the test. So, but I've done like 1 hour a day. If I want to do more, I'll do more, but 1 hour a day, and it eases my mind, with studying, and so I realized that. So if anybody's out there studying, getting ready for something, at least if you have like a month or so, it's time. Just give yourself like 30 minutes or an hour, and just say that's what I have to do today. Because when you think about studying, you're either not going to do it because you just feel so pressured, and you're like, I don't want to do it and all that, or you'll not study a whole week and then study a whole day. If you just do it increments like that, just eases my mind, and it's just like
great advice.
But it's nice to do it that way with working that other stuff I'm doing. I feel so less stressed like that. I'm like, is this what normal people feel like?
When you're more organized. Yeah.
When you're not, you're like a chicken with his head off.
Okay.
All right, let's get on with it.
Well,
Okay.
Guess we're going to talk about PTSD. If you don't know what PTSD stands for, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. And basically, it's a mental condition that is triggered by experiencing or just seeing something, a terrifying event.
That's terrifying to you.
Yes, to you.
Yeah. And how long do you have to have it to say you have PTSD?
The symptoms usually is at least a month consistently.
Yeah.
So, but it can be from a month to a year, but at least a month.
Yep. And some of the symptoms, what would you say? We could just jump back and forth with this.
Some symptoms can be flashbacks.
Yeah.
They can be things will trigger you that remind you of the event, creating a lot of anxiety to where you can't handle situations you were able to at one point before.
Yeah, there's nightmares that can occur. And depression is part of it.
And anxiety.
Yeah. Anxiety.
Yeah. Different body feelings like tightness of your chest. You might have your knees trembling, or what's it called when your knees kind of collapse? Buckled knees, shortness of breath, jitteriness, So not being able to go certain places, do certain things because they can remind you of the traumatic event.
Paranoia.
Yes, yes. And would you say like some of that is like panic attacks?
Yeah.
Feel like
I say certain people come with them. Now you don't have to have all of these if you have PTSD. But those are like I would say generic.
Yeah. Changing your mood and behavior, shifting your mood and behavior.
Yeah.
So speaking of PTSD, those who were, and even if you weren't directly touched by the Orlando shooting, can develop a form of PTSD. Usually those who are directly impacted by it, will suffer the most, but at times just seeing, traumatic events can be triggering for you if you've had an event that, something traumatic that happened to you in your life.
And there's also the thing called secondary trauma, which is not necessarily PTSD, but you're being affected by it.
Well, it could be.
It could be.
Depending. I mean, of what you see and how you experience it secondhand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's very unfortunate, very devastating what happened. But June is PTSD Awareness Month, and it's a month to bring awareness to PTSD, where we talk about that. Like Nicole said, it is a real thing, and also to talk about and bring awareness to different treatments that are used for PTSD. One is CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. That's a very popular therapy to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, and I know usually in conjunction with CBT, they do medication to help with the anxiety and the depression.
Because a lot of time you need the medication, possibly not for forever, but just to get past that hump of anxiety or paranoia or depression. So you're most likely going to have one or all of them. Exactly. Because you're not going to have enough motivation and self-efficacy to do it, to be able to move past it. You'll need that to give you a little boost to get there. Another one is desensitization of a treatment, which would be either like, let's say you're afraid of going out in public because something happened in public. You would try to slowly get you into public so you could do it, slowly talk to people, or it could be as simple as not going and doing anything, but talking about the event, talking about it over and over and over and over to where just you accept it, it's a part of you, and you're trying to avoid it anymore.
Right. And another one is exposure therapy, which is similar to that. So in these therapies, you can look them up on Google if you want more information. But just a quick note, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, deals with your thoughts. It talks about how your thoughts are connected with your behaviors. So it goes through how you think about things and shifting how you think about things, which will change how you feel about them, which changes, how you behave, how you deal with those things that, you're struggling with.
I think one of the main beginning treatments that is not even what a therapist would need to do is support from the people, wherever you're going to get the support from, wherever it is, but support and understanding from those around you initially to help you through that. For example, we all know PTSD. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but most of the world now knows PTSD in relation to war.
Yes.
So that example is if someone comes back from a war, if their family isn't, and friends or whoever is around isn't as understanding of the real effects of seeing what they've seen and doing what they've done, how it can change them almost completely, and how it's gonna and maybe think, like, I've had people who say, like, their partner they didn't think that this could actually happen, or this really changed them. They thought that they were just like riding it out and get over it, like you gotta deal with this. So to really listen and understand what your family members or friends or partner is going through, to support them with that, because if not, it actually gets way worse, and then it could turn into a permanent mental health thing. PTSD can be permanent, but it also can be decreased.
Right.
Yeah, and I think with going off of what you said, is being open when it comes to family, open to becoming educated about these things, because like you said, people sometimes just don't think, you just get over it. So it's important to educate yourself about it too.
Right. And it's important to know that there isn't exactly a cure for PTSD, but you can better manage it. So, but you have to seek support and get help for that. Another thing is, like you were saying, if you don't and you just let it ride, it can lead to other issues because you start to self-medicate or find unhealthy ways to cope, like drugs,
anger, lashing out.
Yeah, a lot of different things that are unhealthy, or thrill seeking, where you do these harmful things, to yourself because you're trying to chase a rush.
Your impulses just go.
Yeah. So.
You lose yourself a lot of the times. You're
Very
either
scary.
like, a lot of times it's too worried or not worried enough and trying to escape, like you were saying.
It's very, very true.
Going off of what you said, what's good about family therapy is that we don't say bring in that person with the PTSD. We want to see everybody because we need to know who the people that you're living with, who are the people that are there that are going to be your support. And if the people you're living with aren't your support, bring in some people that are supportive so you have support outside of, your therapy appointments.
It's true. What were you going to say, Nicole?
I don't know if it's a treatment or just an intervention or just a way of helping with it, but I would say like reframing the way that you think about it and see it and learning from it. And people say that it's easier said than done, which is true, but I've personally been through a lot of things where I could have had severe PTSD from. But having support, having therapy, and then also just learning from it. Seeing it in a different light of how it can, accepting that whatever happened, and then trying to learn from it, help people with it, or whatever makes you feel that you've learned something and better by it, do it that way. Because if you just dwell on it and think how horrible whatever has happened, and just think about it over and over again, and you can't accept it, you'll be debilitated by it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that part of what you're talking about comes in a little bit after the therapy, so that you can kind of get to that level.
Right.
Because you're right. It is good to reframe. Not necessarily you can always reframe in a positive light, but how to, how you can help other people who may be going through it, or different things like that. There's always something to learn from the things we experience.
I think acceptance eventually is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, this did happen, or I did see this, and it is part of my life now. I think a lot of times with the PTSD comes about like thinking about what you could have done to prevent X, Y, and Z, and and then thinking about the guilt and the shame or whatever it is. If you were the one that did something, someone did something to you, whatever it is, I think that comes into a lot to hanging on to it and it creating big effects.
With all the treatments, it's also another treatment. Going off of CBT, it's called trauma-focused CBT. It's really effective and it really can help you, cope with PTSD. And the things that you were describing is all in the TF-CBT, the step-by-step. And you can even use it with children, too. So it's not just adults or teens that deal with it. Little kids do, too.
Oh, yes. And then if they don't deal with that, that's how a lot of things are developed. And people have a lot of issues when they grow up if that PTSD was never dealt with. It can cause a little different personality disorders.
Oh, yeah.
It can cause just anything else going on. Physical issues as well, because when you're going through so much mentally, your body normally shuts down and affected by it.
Which is why it's important to let your doctor know, to even step further, making sure you have those appointments to talk with your doctor, let them know what's going on with your body, physically, because PTSD, it comes up as physical symptoms that you have, and you might not just, have a stomach ache or have a physical illness. It could be that your body's reacting to a traumatic event that happened. And also, with kids, you want to make sure that they're not just slapped with an ADHD diagnosis, because it could be PTSD.
That's definitely diagnosed too often. And what I would say is people, at least we'll say in America, living in low-income areas.
Yes.
And a lot of minority kids get slapped with that ADHD sign right away. And just that's just what you have, but not thinking about when you're living in lower-income areas, what you experience, the trauma that happens, everything, and not taking that into account.
And it's funny you brought that up, because that's something that I think it's being a little bit more researched now, that whether kids have ADHD or PTSD. And I think that's important, because I feel like a lot of these kids that are being slapped with the label are actually showing the signs of PTSD, and we're treating the wrong things.
Right. So yeah, if you're watching this, we're bringing awareness to it. So make sure to talk with your primary care physician. They are a great referral source for therapy. If you already have a therapist, talk to your therapist. If you're in school, whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, a university, there's therapists there or counselors that you can talk to get more information. If you notice that you have, some of these symptoms, it might be a good idea to speak with someone about it and find out for sure if you have a PTSD diagnosis.
I'd say family members, if it's hard for you to self-diagnose and for you to recognize, hey, I have this problem, or even want to be able to take care of it, you might not even know because it overcomes you so quickly and kind of drift off from it. So if you are a family member of someone you believe that has PTSD, try to talk to them, reach out to them, speak with them to try to convince them to get help, because you really do need to go see a therapist if you have PTSD.
Yeah. And I think going along with what Nicole said, yes, reaching out and doing that, but make sure you're doing it in a way that doesn't seem like you're pointing the fingers or blaming or making them feel like they're, what everybody says, crazy, because that's going to turn them off. It's going to turn them off to wanting to seek that help.
Yeah.
I think make it relational. Go with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully this was helpful and, it brought awareness.
Yeah, let's hope so. Any other questions, please leave any comments on the comment section, or you can DM us, or you can email us, or anything if you have any other questions about this. All right, well, take it away, Akila.
If you are an artist and would like us to play your music, or have a product or brand that you would like us to advertise, or if you have any questions or comments, please email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioshow.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope at HeartsChat, and our Instagram at HeartsChatRadio. We post a lot of motivational messages up throughout the day, so if you need a little inspiration or pick-me-up, follow our pages. And for more information on HeartsChat, be sure to visit our website, www.HeartsChatRadioshow.com.
We hope you enjoyed our show today. Tune in every Sunday and Tuesday on HeartsChatRadioshow.com for a new episode of HeartsChat. So don't forget to tune in again at HeartsChatRadioshow.com and check us out.
And visit my blog and ask me all of your relationship questions anonymously at FromEricasHeart.com. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart.
Bye.
Bye-bye.